Welcome to an incredible journey through time and sound. Today, I'm diving into the fascinating history of jazz, that electrifying genre that's been shaking things up for over a century. So, grab your favorite drink, sit back, and let's explore how jazz conquered the world. Our story begins in the late 19th and early 20th centuries in New Orleans, Louisiana. Picture this, a bustling port city with a melting pot of cultures, French, Spanish, African, Caribbean. Now, toss in the brass bands from military parades, the mournful cries of the blues, and the rhythmic beats of ragtime. Out of this vibrant mix emerged a new sound, raw and improvisational. Jazz was born. The early pioneers like Buddy Bolden were the rock stars of their time, setting the stage for the likes of Louis Armstrong and Jelly Roll Morton. These trailblazers took jazz out of the local bars and brothels and into the mainstream. Armstrong's trumpet solos and Morton's compositions added structure and sophistication to the raw energy of early jazz, crafting a style that was uniquely American. As the 1920s roared on, jazz exploded onto the national scene. The Jazz Age, marked by flappers, speakeasies, and the Charleston, was in full swing. New York City's Harlem became the epicenter, with the Harlem Renaissance bringing black culture and art to the forefront. Duke Ellington, with his orchestra, and the smooth, silky voice of Billie Holiday became household names. But jazz wasn't content to stay put. It crossed the Atlantic, captivating audiences in Europe. Paris, in particular, fell in love with the genre, welcoming American expat musicians like Sidney Bechet. Jazz clubs thrived, and the genre began to influence classical music and vice versa. Then came the evolution of jazz forms. By the 1940s, the big band era gave way to bebop. Icons like Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie sped things up, adding complex chords and fast-paced solos. Bebop wasn't for dancing, it was for listening, for the serious jazz aficionados. The 1950s and 60s saw the rise of cool jazz and hard bop. Think Miles Davis with his laid-back, minimalistic approach in Kind of Blue, or John Coltrane pushing boundaries with his intense, spiritual improvisations. Jazz was constantly reinventing itself, reflecting the social and political changes of the times. In the latter half of the 20th century, jazz continued to evolve, blending with rock, funk, and electronic music. Fusion artists like Herbie Hancock and Weather Report took jazz into new territories. And let's not forget the global influence: Brazilian bossa nova, Afro-Cuban jazz. The world embraced and reshaped jazz. Today, jazz is everywhere. From the Grammy-winning albums of contemporary artists like Kamasi Washington to the scores of blockbuster movies, jazz remains a vital, living art form. So, how did jazz conquer the world? Through its ability to adapt, innovate, and speak to the human soul. Jazz is the sound of freedom, creativity, and passion. It's a journey that started in the streets of New Orleans and continues to inspire and captivate audiences worldwide. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this musical journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into the world of music. Until next time, keep those toes tapping and the spirits high.